Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the third of four teachings by the Venerable Lama Lodu Rinpoche. Welcome. And for those who maybe are attending for the first time, I wanted to just go over the format of these teachings. Rinpoche will speak, and at the end of the discussion, there will be the opportunity for Q&A. Please type your questions into the chat, which you should see at the bottom of the screen. You can do that at any time. And I will read those questions to Rinpoche during the Q&A, and he'll have an opportunity to answer them. Today's class is on, while we practice seriously, at times we may have obstacles instantly arise and the mind becomes covered by these obscurations. This causes lots of confusion and doubt. So Rinpoche will give a 20-minute teaching on how to make this subside, followed by a Q&A session with written questions. On behalf of the KDK board, I want to thank Lama Lodu Rinpoche once again for providing these teachings. It is a wonderful gift during these difficult times to have an opportunity to hear words of Dharma and to practice together as a Sangha. And I would also like to mention that anyone who feels a wish that is, there's no expectation whatsoever. These are free teachings, but anyone who has any desire to make a connection to the Dharma Center of any amount, we want to share the link for donations and Dana, and you are more than welcome to make a contribution easily via PayPal at kdk.org/event_reg.html. And that link is also easily found at the website as well. So without further ado, Lama Lodu, please proceed.
Oh, thank you, David. Welcome all of you. Even I don't see, I believe you are there. So I'll be talking here. I'm seeing no one. That's okay. Everything Buddha says empty, not really inherent existence. The smeller now, we are talking to empty, but still relative absolute truth there, and interdependent origination is there still. So this will be cause and effect. And so teaching will become through, even you don't see the person there. But actually, you seeing me, that's something that these people work together to make this available. And you welcome. And today is a subject to how to overcome your obstacle during your practice. We are.
Yes, please go ahead.
Everybody hearing that, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So I talking empty then at that time. So welcome all of you. I'm sorry for 15 minutes we have missed it. So anyway, we reconnected again. So I want to say is welcome and to the subject today was how to overcome when you have obstacle hindrance during our practice series. So that is the kind of topic, and that is a beginner. Obviously, that's obstacle is always there, and then someone already in the path, they already have very much obstacle there. But end of the path, before the realization or the resolve of the path, you have lost much that obstacle. Obstacle is always come because of the karma is not able to remove easily. And so karma, we have problem actually, especially this time, COVID-19, and make people lots of confused and hopeless and threatenings. And so lots of things, the confusion come from this COVID-19. But I think it's COVID-19 is not the one killer. We always say someone with us ready to, extinguish our life. So that meaning we have lots of cause of the death, many cause of death, especially human life is never designed how long you can live. So because the many cause of death, human being is since we born, then every second we are toward to dying, or sometimes we get death, you know. So that is the human situation, nature, and always have the lots of cause of the death, not only the COVID-19. But COVID-19 kind of remind us there's impermanent. There is something coming death. Before that, we don't remembering. I'm, healthy, happy, everything okay. More, I'm looking for this lifetime to my wealth and prosperity and taking care of my family, my wealth and prosperity. And that is we concern. We never concern, they say, next life about the dyings. Even people, we talk about the little bit dead, and some people doesn't like. I don't hear that because that is not unpleasant things. Even people says, well, when dying, I'm dying, but I don't want to talk about it. I don't want to think about it. But I think that is a little Polish to think that way. So that means doesn't mean you go to new house to enjoy. That means you leave from this world and to another life, another, life. So that means you're going to something terrible place if your karma is not good. Your karma is good, maybe not bad. So that reason, COVID-19 is not only we need to be worried about because we are dying. We're dying many causes of death, not COVID-19 only. So that case, COVID-19 is the one remind us there is a death. And therefore there's a death, then we should know the death is not mean I'm going to enjoy some vacations. That means you depart from this life, what you enjoy, your family, your wealth, your prosperity, your name, fame, your beauty, your quality, knowledge, whatever you have, you enjoy, but you leave that one. When you did leave, you are not easy to live with that because we are so much clinging in this lifetime. And then we go with some place, not going to vacation, we're going to have much more painful and confusion place. So that case, we should prepare ourselves and not wait until death. Before the death, we can prepare, we make plans something. We can, up to this life we go, we should be better. Then even not worse than this, at least. If you can make better than this lifetime because human being is very capable. Human being is very powerful. Human being is very, very useful and precious. You can do lots of good things. You can make the good for this lifetime. And even not only that, you can liberate from all the suffering and completely enlightenment. You can make it because this human being can have such power. But then we don't use it because of our ego so clinging, temporary, enjoyment, temporary things make distracting you. So that is the, normally we have that. So COVID-19 make shook of everybody. And also COVID-19 make you always, not be one person he focus, but COVID-19 everywhere, whether you are powerful king or queen, or you are a homeless person, or you are educated, your beauty, power, nothing COVID-19 will make say, okay, you are okay, you are free of this. COVID-19 get anywhere, anyone. So in that case, that is, very much, no matter whom we are, is the up to the bone as human being, subject to dying. So death is not certainty when you will die. So that case, I think some of the opportunity given by the COVID-19, we are, possible we get the COVID-19, possible we can die with that, possible recover that. So no matter what, and we can do something good before the COVID-19 catch us. So that is a very good, very smart, very wise. Someone can do that. So especially now we're talking about today's subject is the practice of, serious dharma, meaning said, seriously you want to be, attain enlightenment for the benefit of all sentient beings. So that is the kind of our main focus, basic foundation. The motivated to get enlightenment, purpose for enlightenment for benefit other sentient beings. So that is our basic motivation. So based on, then we are doing the practice. The Dharma practice meanings and truthful things. Basically, we have, before you have practice, you have to make sure laying foundation of our motivations. We always motivated, no matter what. The motivation can be bad one and good one. So it's you have motivation bad, it is bad because that result is not good. The result is suffering and pain and confusions. So motivation is bad. That is to mean that your mind is want to, first place, our mind become completely take over by our ego, and then blinded our true nature. Then we'll not say the truth. We don't see the truth. And then we can have artificial ego take over. So that will be the basically motivated by our ego to do more benefit myself, but more harmful to others. And the harmful things can be harmed to in many different ways, you know. But in order to harm before, you must have motivations. I'm going to do this. And whenever you're harming, you're doing this to harm somebody, torturing. And then you're torturing someone, that means you're motivated to get benefit out of that. So that means it's seriously wrong motivation that, you know. That wrong motivation lead to any single thing you do or say or think that all is going into negative and what you call negative karma. But this also contributes you to suffering and pain and confuse constantly, not only this lifetime, but life after life. So therefore, the motivation is very important to identify. So when you motivate it, you should not motivate like that. So that is not really a motivation that benefiting you or anyone, you know. So that you recognize negative side of your motivation. So you try to turn around that, you know, you try to avoiding that negative bad motivation. Then what you have to do or the remedy turn around that motivation is the positive. So the positive meanings in that you have some kind of, there is a beginning, of course, ego is always there, but there is some kind of light on it because you have something, want to think something good, say something good, do something good. That you're thinking of, I'm going to think of something good. And I want to say something good. I'm do something good. So that is the kind of beginning of your motivation, is the kind of motivating now. So before your mind was negative, motivated negative, but you knowing, you should be acknowledged. I'm talking of a negative side, even you don't like it, but it is good to know about negative, how harmful, how foolish you can engage in the negative side. And then this will be make your positive become more precious, more pleasure, more pleasant to think of the positive, beginning with that. So that is the most you have the positive things, you know. The positive can be very limited positive and very limitless positive. And same things, negative also limitless negative and very limited positive negative. So this case that in the beginning you have to be, you know, temporary things, you know, you will kind of very limited positive is necessary to create it and train our mind beginning and every day. So every moment, and even first time you can say it's morning, you want to say, I'm going to something, everything I'm going to do for benefit other, and so something good, you know. You think of that way, and they are mindful that they in every moment you can think about 1 hour, how much I didn't think good. Maybe half hour bad, half hour good. Maybe I did maybe few minutes good, and most of the hour is come back. So that can see that means that within the hour, how much contribute yourself suffering more, because you are 5 minutes you are positive, the rest of the minute is negative. So the rest of the minute is you are contributing suffering and pain yourself. So that way you can understand, I have 5 minutes that positive. So next time I want to do 10 minutes positive within an hour. So like that, then, few hours, maybe up in the morning to the noon, you can see divide how much I did good, how much I was thinking bad. And then 12 to the, before you sleep, again, you think about how much you did good, how much you bad. So you do bad, you see that the defect of the bad, that bad motivation, the planting seed of the bad karma, the bad karma to torture me, suffer me, and confuse my continuation of life. And so therefore, I not do this anymore. I should commit myself not. And on this committing, I'm not committing anything other than I want to not commit, suffer myself by myself. So I have to commit. I don't want to suffer. Committing negative to cause suffering. So you commit that is good for you. So you should rejoice if you commit to negative not to do. At the same time, you can commit positive, from this time, but I did this much negative, this much positive, but next time I'll do more day, spend time to positive and less time to negative, but this will be not consciously and mindful for the positive, mindful to negative, to avoiding, mindful to positive, to continuation. So this way, you training mind, meaning the training this way, little by little, you cannot jumping immediately to get how the benefit Buddha, Bodhisattva do. They have training on that too. So we also have the training that, so we can able to do it, because historically, many Buddha and Bodhisattva go through and they achieve the result. So we can able to do it because we have Buddha nature. We have seed of the Buddha. We have the fertilized seed. Any seed you have, that seed can grow. You have to need the seed put in the very rich soil and have the condition of all these elements such as a worm, wind, water, heat, and ground, gravity, space, all these conditions necessary to get that seed to grow. And then after you planting seed, you have to time take care of them. Put more water and make sure the heat not too over, too less. So all these things, even the all element, so seed will grow quick. These similar things that we also the motivation is very important to first motivate it. And then based on that motivation, you are performing any activity, and that is called karma. So you actively perform the negative karma, then it will be result suffering, positive karma, then you will be result happiness. So you can see what the result is, the more important then you will be the work on the cause to get the result better, So these are the very important first place to motivate it, Motivation is very important for us. And so that case that, Buddhist, it's very important to mind training, we call. Mind trainings. Mind training is the kind of most of the Buddhists we talk about, training your mind. So this mind training is not absolute, relative. Buddha have of course, Buddha have teaching giving for 84,000 dharma, and that's combined into the three yana, Hinayana, Mahayana, Vajrayana, and that will kind of combine into the two truth, relative and absolute truth. So that case, the relative truth is more have to be engaged first to get absolute truth to realize, So the relative is the kind of first place we have to basically laying the foundation, good motivation, So first acknowledge motivation, your motivation right or wrong, you know. If motivation is not right, then you are kind of mistaking yourself, begin with. So that is the practitioner have to be know first motivation before you do practice, you know. So practice can be, you know, our karma in many lifetime. In a many lifetime, we are not only this lifetime here, but in many lifetime before we have, and many lifetime will future there. So before whatever you have past lifetime, what have you drawn? You are a good person. You are not that good person. Pretty much you can acknowledge yourself now, recognize now. And if last life you're a good person, that same person this lifetime, that person's life, his body is gone, but his mind is the same. Last time he has a good person, that can habitual pattern, this lifetime, he naturally good person. So last time is not good person, and this lifetime not that good person. Last time is so bad that means this person it could be seriously bad, you know. So that is the kind of what you done last, your result is now. What you doing now, result come next life. So that is a for sure. There's a we say so what we have done last lifetime, you must know this lifetime. So if you are a good person now, you must be not bad. Last time you have gone very good. Therefore, just pick up where you are, you know. And then if this lifetime you're not that good, then you know you have something to work out that. And last time is not done your favor. So this lifetime you have to train yourself to better, and in next lifetime. So that is kind of always the last what you done is this life you experience. So whenever you practice Dharma, the Dharma is very powerful, especially you are motivated. You know, you have to have the motivated little selflessly, you know, the self is kind of more, it can give your motivation change. You're so strong selfish, that's a strong negative there. And you have little selfless, and you have little less self, and that person is a little bit more motivations, more good motivations. So it is something always that, you know, motivation is kind of which is make the inspiration. So when you practice Dharma, so even just do normal things, you don't want to do good things. You have the planning to do good things. But on the time form to do good things, you make lots of difficulty, obstacle or hindrance to not allow that good that you want to do it. Sometimes, you know, you have physically problem. You mentally may be unstable because you change your mind at the last moment. And then also have some problem with frame problem. And here and there, lots of things make you may not able to do these good things. So that called obstacle. You know, that's going to hindering practice of something good, result to good for you. But some obstacle bring the negative to not allow the good things. So overcome this obstacle, then you have to deal with that. You have to challenge with that. So that is the kind of, when you aim to do something, planning, then you make sure that have done. No matter what comes, you try to avoiding, because that time, unnecessarily you think it's very important to do that things before doing its good things, you know. And when you're doing that, then that will make obstructing and not able to do that good things, you know. So that you have to challenge to make more, put effort, energy to make what you motivate to do good things. You must do that good thing by avoiding something obstacle country, interfere you, you know. So that is important to practitioner. Practitioner is you have to rely on your practitioner. You overcome that obstacle or let your obstacle go take over you. So that you need to determine in that, what you want to do is you're going to do it no matter what. And so that is a practitioner have to determine. And that then also practitioner have to be some kind of sense of the respect and devotion, what you aim. What you aim is that you want to do something good. You want to do that good, you must have the, determine and devotion. Devotion meaning you want to do it. You like to do it, no matter what comes. So that is determination. Determine come from your devotions, your belief, your convictions. All this will be make your mind get determined and energy to do good, to come to good. And then you drawn, then you overcome that obstacle, So then you let the obstacle take over, then you can see many things you cannot accomplish that. So the obstacle can be avoiding by your devotion, your determinants, your convictions. But again, this we need a great merit and purification beginning with, to that kind of conviction, devotion, and that much you had energy you have to determine to do that, accomplish that, your obstacle, overcome this. And you have sort of energy and determination is being, you have the kind of good karma, what we can say, accumulation of merit. And that it will be the helpful. So therefore, by the way, you cannot just one focus, but you need to be always take simple things, whether this obstacle come already or you coming or not come yet. And whenever that you have to engage your mind to motivate it positive, engage speech, mind, speech, body to be positive actions. And that is the important, that live that positive way, and then one come to obstacle become not big deal. And then you can able to have energy, you have able to have can have devotion, and you can able to determine them. So you're overcome them without so difficulty. And somebody have the luck of the marriage and then purifications. So then that case, that kind of obstacle come easily, the obstacle take over you. But most people, we do that obstacle, So, everything come important before I accomplish something, I motivate to do good things. But this will be not accomplished because lots of obstacles hindering will be obstructing me that. So this the simple things, simple motivation that way, how much difficulty we have obstacle. But one come to Dharma practice, we practicing first as the Shine, calm abiding practice is very important practice, very good beginning. And then also that meditating on the absolute truth like emptiness, those are very good. But these are the kind of very important to purify and accumulate merit by the every instant you do those practice. So in your good motivations and the faith and trust, you do this samadhi meditation and calm abiding practice and those things. This can be very, very useful. But what happens is that through your motivation, your devotion, your belief, and the method is of the kind of lineage transmission for lineage, guru by disciple. And then you have that kind of lineage transmission. And then you understand the method very well. You try to put this method into practice, then much more obstacle will be. Because of this practice method are so strong and very, very powerful. And this can be short time, this negative would accumulate long time, can be purified and overcome this. So therefore, this is, when you practice, will make this obstacle become more active. It is something like that. The practice is become very strong chemical to wash the things that would very much dirty. So very much dirty is very hard to just wash through water. You need some chemical to put them. And when chemical put again, until chemical absorb into this, that will be make any indicate to be purify or remove this, And so first you get water, get wet, then you'll get the chemical, and then up to chemical cause it will about to come out. When about to come out this dirty, what happened is smell come. And then it's kind of dirty look like, So that is time, it's dirty is ready to go because the chemical was so strong, the dirty cannot resist it. And that time, sometime little bit kind of smell or some kind of in discomfort. So it is method like the practice, Shine and on calm abiding or insight meditation or visualizing deities or mantra or whatever, that's the method. That is the kind of very powerful chemical. But then you putting this chemical in the dirty. Dirty is a kind of long time pile of the dirty on that. So then you put this powerful chemical that dirty cannot resist it, but it's some indicating the resistance is let the tissue smell bad and look bad there. So it's similar like that. We have the practicing Dharma, and the Dharma is powerful. That method go into our obscurations, sins, defilements, that karma we accumulate long time, that these Dharma practice can remove them completely, But then when they remove, we may have some kind of little bit sick, little bit mentally difficulty, little bit problem, obstacle outside, inside, that possible to come. So that time, we should not stop our practice. So then when you practice, you have some discomfort, mind, body. That means your obscuration, since it's ready to remove, you need to more practice, more motivate, more faith, more trust. And you can use this practice more, skillfully again, to practice, don't stop practice. And most of the practice, and when the practice a little bit and the discomfort come from mind and body, you stop that. You don't want to practice because you think that you can get them discomforting your mind and body. But then in that case, what means that huge chemical, powerful chemicals gathered there, and then you put a little bit, and then smell come from dirty, then you dry up this dirty, and you not wash them out. That means dirty is again dry back there, forever there. Then you obscure and you're in a walk in the darkness again, continuations. So therefore, that anything, the obstacle, such things come, so that case you need a more method and more you practice, overcome that practice. Practice, you can be skillful again. So practice that you have to use calm abiding practice, emptiness meditation practice, or visualizing deities, or reciting mantra, and calm abiding practice, many different kind of practice there. Color practice, breathing, more Buddhists talk about. So this breathing was different way to breathing too. So these are the best you can apply, but you're not stopping practice, but you can apply them, So it's especially Tibetan Buddhism, Polo Buddhist people have every teacher, they're giving the technique for the you come abiding practice, inside the practice, and the Mayana practice. And also that we have the practice of Vajrayana, deities yoga practice, Mantrayana practice. So these are the different methods we are available that student can use it to remove your negativity. So that is kind of, see, you skillful meanings, and that means you can see which way you continue your practice, you know, maybe more huge like Vajrayana visualization, like mantra recitation, or simple like breathing meditations. And also you can, you know, time to time, you know, meditating to, you know, training your mind, such as the positive side, you know, that means the motivation. But beginning I talked about the motivation is positive mind is the very, very useful, beneficial. So therefore, beginning of you have the positive mind. Positive mind is to just be positive, you know. But in this case, we need to be training your mind. Training your mind, our mind is kind of very much, you know, crazy, you know. You are try to breathing 5 minutes. You say, okay, so you watch your breathing for 5 minutes. Then you divide this 5 minutes. How many times you are in focusing the mind in the breathings? And how many times you have been away from the breathing, focusing your mind from the breathing. So you can think about 5 minutes, you meditate. And then you can see at the end of 5 minutes, how much you stay in the meditation on the focus on the breathing. At past first time, you made few minutes, you did it. Maybe you never done even. So beginning like that, you know, then you have to some determine there, you know. And when you have to train something to new things, it's not easy to come. Simple things like the driving, writing, reading. So all these things you learn. First time you don't know any, but you learn by little. But now you can easily write, easily read. The same things before you don't know anything to drive, but you learn driving, now you can drive. While you drive, you can talk. You can look around. Even you are very get used to people. But before you are never know how to use the car, move. Even you sit and try to drive, you are so threatening, so you know, agitating or so doubt. But little by little, then you get more competent, you gain confidence, and slowly get used to be that. The same things, negative things, you focus your mind on breathing, you really have even few seconds, your mind is staying on the breathing. That means you have the few seconds, you give your favor yourself. Few seconds, your mind focusing your mind on the breathing. That meaning you are not involved anger, desire, jealous, greed, proud, hope, and doubt. In that case, your ego is not using you as servant. You are kind of using a little bit there. So therefore, you 3 seconds you do this, wonderful. When you try, and then 5 minutes you can make full 5 minutes, you get completely focus your mind without any kind of distracting. That meaning you do very great. For 5 minutes, your mind absent of the thought, distractions. And you ever done this? You don't do before. But now at least 5 minutes, your mind free from the distraction, free from the thought, which make the polluting, obscuring your mind. But 5 minutes, your mind cleaning there, live clean. So that means big favors, 5 minutes too. So that is kind of 5 minutes. If you do 5 minutes solidly, the 10 minutes easily comes. Not easily, but I mean, you'll be. But 10 minutes, you very hope there. I can do 10 minutes. Why not? I can do 15 minutes. When 15 minutes do, then you can gain confidence. Why not 20 minutes? And then you 20 minutes solid, you get 20 minutes full mind concentrating on the breathing. You have great favor. 20 minutes, you're absent of thought, which is normally constantly you're confusing your mind. But 20 minutes, you're just focusing one pointly on your breathing is wonderful. That is the way purify your fast habitual patterns, negativity, or different level of karma. You can remove them and accumulate great merit of that. So that means great. Then you are 20 minutes. If you do half hour, full half hour, you can concentrate on the breathing. You're doing pretty good, pretty good. But if you don't do and I stop between 1 day, 2 day, you don't do, then hard to back again. If you don't do for 15 days and 20 days and a month, then I think it's very difficult back. When you lost your kind sequence, daily hobby, then you have to bring back again this hobby. So that means you have to constantly keep on the meditation on those kind of breathing. So these are the, when you do, this are the method is so powerful. So possibility, you have obstacle. Then obstacle is that you have to overcome by the, those different kind of methods. And then also, you have to sometimes, when you do too much meditation, you get, next time you will really don't like to meditate. You get, not like to meditate. Even see the question, you get upset, somewhat, you dislike that. So that kind of habit happen too. So therefore you have to skillful. When you like to meditate too much, sometimes you have to stop there. Sometimes you don't like, you make sure you determine to practice. So that is the kind of how overcome your obstacle. But it's a kind of, during the meditation you have problem, and then that time you can see the problem there. But why that problem during the meditation you getting this? Because after you're not meditating, your mind is crazy as normal. You're not mindfulness. You do careless. So then that's the problem, because the sitting meditation doesn't get developed, advancing. Because of the daily, up to the meditation, your mind is just normal. Anger come, jealous come, greed comes, stupid come, desire come. And also your action, doing speech, body will be engaging, whatever mind motivating there. So these are coming. So this affecting actual sitting meditation. So in order to you want to develop your sitting meditation, you need to absent of meditation. Up to you're not meditating, that's very important to have aware what are you doing, what are you saying, what are you thinking. So the daily, you have to be engaged in speech, mind, body, positive. More you engage only in the outside world positively, and then you sitting meditation become more peace and calm and able to come. So what you call obstacle can be less, even calm. Obstacle cannot take over you, and you are under control of the obstacle. There's so many obstacles we can call. There's when meditation become very subtle level, and obstacle become more subtle level. Sometimes obstacle you not recognize them. And so that is important. Because of that, we need to have some experiential teacher who meditate himself and live in the meditation, and then he can tell what his experience, and also that help. And otherwise, that will be not too much. You will memorize all the Buddha's teaching by heart if you're not practicing, and that will be not so much beneficial and affecting for the mind-to-mind benefit, So you need to put into practice. When you practice your own experience, can you lead other person to be on the path? So therefore, important to practice. So anyway, so this continuation of this practice, when you session is good, but also we call nyamja, we call. Nyamja is kind of actual session. Jetop, we call. Jetop meaning up to the sessions. So that means that Jetop is become very important. When you are actual meditation, you come to meditate, you have giving time for that, and that obstacle can be easy to recognize, then easily you can kind of challenge with that and bring your mind to be set on the equipoise. But when you are not meditating, so that time what happens is that people think I'm not meditating, so therefore I okay to crazy. Then I can say things, do things, because my mind thinking as I'm saying, as I'm doing. So that is my motivation is. When motivation sometimes, you know, when people say things, you can guess that person was thinking. When he acting things, you look as he's acting, you can see that what is motivation. He's using his word and also seeing his action. You hearing the word from him and seeing your action from him. So then you guess this, how he's thinking, what his mind is. So that's where you can make somewhat guess that, but 100% not sure. Because again, what I'm seeing, what I'm thinking, I'm not omniscient, therefore maybe motivation different than what he's doing, what he's saying. So that also not proof, but some little bit, some of sense, you can see what he think, And so that case, that's very important, that daily we like to engage in positive things. Try to do our best to be positive. Motivation is very important. First time your mind comes, before you say, before you do. The mind is really the control your speech body. The mind is the king of the speech body. Speech body is the servant of the king. So therefore, we have to always mind you careful, the thing of the mind. Then when you have the motivation is right, and that will be leading to your speech, not negative, body be not negative. So therefore, during the lifetime, you have to have sense of compassion, sense of devotions. Compassion, devotion is very important. Devotion part is simply we are like something to do good things, like something on some good one. Like Buddha, who he has known ego, pure, perfect, stainless, his mind. So therefore, he doesn't have anger, he doesn't have desire, he doesn't have proud, jealous, greed, stupidity, and so on. So he's completely pure, stainless beings. So then we have to think of that kind of great being is the wonderful, very good. So I like to achieve that. Because of that, he's stainless, completely selfless. He's completely blessed and joy forever. He had control everything through his own wisdom mind, knowing everything, and he had a great sense of compassion and great ability to protect free sentient being from the sufferings. So that kind of being, I have to respect. I have to some sense of I like in my mentally say, I think this is great. I want to have that quality. I want to have that perfections. That's called devotions, So that kind of devotion you have, then you have to empower yourself to engage the positive. Empower yourself to live selfless. And that kind of sense of the devotion you have, that through the blessing, the energy come from to enlightened beings, then your mind becomes the blessed joy, then you have sense of the compassion to other beings. Then your compassion to comes. So this devotion and compassion is the kind of important condition to bring my mind as good quality, positive. So if you have such devotions and you have the compassion to sentient being, non-discriminations, compassion to non-good discrimination, or, I forget how to say that, is something, mind doesn't discriminate it. This is my enemy, this is my friend, and this indifferent one. So this is important, these two thought, the three thought. So one is ignorant, one is the attachment, one is the anger. So this is called three poisons. So you have to be sense of a little bit devotion, of course, as I'm describing, but we have to have some kind of sense of the knowing that our anger, how harmful, how much obstacle giving, and also we should know that our attachment, craving, how much contribute the obstacle, hindrance there. And of course that our ignorance contribute lots. Ignorance is the kind of knowing true nature of our mind is the Buddha. That we not know our mind is true nature of the Buddha, Tathagata itself. That is the kind of ignorance that then artificially replace the ego. Then ego is coming, they make the I and you and two together, perceive and perceiver together, they blend it together to the cause to be actioned. Then continually that concept will bring to forming the action, karma, and then will preparation come to confuse and suffering and the pain in the world. So that is the very important part one should know about. The ignorance is the cause, all these suffering, because the Buddha nature is always there. But for example, put in a very dark room, there are a piece of the gold there. But you there with this gold all the time. But it's a dark room, you cannot see things. Then some light shining on the room, then you can see the gold there. That gold was not means that because light make the gold. And I can see now. But whether light or not light, gold is there. But only I seeing gold is because the light. So that means my mind is the true naturally Buddha, But I'm not seeing because I have no wisdom. I have completely ignorance, stupidity, dark. But I need this wisdom to see the goal there, which I'm looking for. So that same things, we need some wisdom to shine on our Buddha nature. Then you can see the Buddha nature is right there. That doesn't mean it was come because of light, but Buddha nature is always there. For example, we are already have the Buddha, we say, but we are Buddha nature is ignorant by our stupidity. And then instead for the wisdom, I will see the Buddha nature, pure, stainless being there, but we see the being me or I and you here. So then all is created, all the suffering and pain, and all called samsara, So this is what is the main problem that we need to have the method to overcome this darkness. We need some wisdom. So wisdom you need to have. In order to get wisdom, you need to have some sense of devotions. So sense of devotion comes from your purifications, accumulation merit. That we call positive karma, right? What is darkness we have there? We're not seeing Buddha. What cause? That is all our ego and perceive and perceiver together forming the karma that obscure this. And then we never even know that we have Buddha nature within us. So then become distant on that. So therefore, that we need to have sense of some devotion and sense of compassion, to which is also you can call skillful mind and wisdom, which is Buddha talk about normally, compassion. In the Mahayana Sutra, Buddha talk about lots of compassions. So compassion is very important. Then also he talk about wisdom, the Mahayana part, talking about the wisdom, which is, wisdom is the kind of totally emptiness, not inherent existence. But then you need to know the wisdom is that dependent origination, obscurings, or forming the solid things there. And then we think that solid thing is real. But what's actually true nature of the solid things, we don't look at and see, or we have competence. But then also Buddha taught if the accumulation of merit, the method, and he talked about lots of compassion in that case. In one place, Buddha says that if you love and compassion to all sentient beings, then he's always love you and kind to you, compassion to you. You are never separate from him. You will always protect by him. He's under, he's completely, guide you, protect you. But you have no compassion, then he say he cannot do it, because that condition of his compassion to affect you, you need to have compassion to other sentient beings. You have to love to all other sentient beings. So his love and compassion connected the condition by your love and compassions. So again, that case, the blessing of the Buddha we always need. But in order to get the blessing of the Buddha, we need to compassion to other sentient beings, love to other sentient beings. So in that case, you love all sentient beings, you're kind to all sentient beings, you compassion to all sentient beings. That meaning Buddha is always with you, with his compassion, loving kindness. Then you have, no matter what kind of obstacle may account, but you're not affected. It disappears, subside by itself. So this case, in order to get those difficulty or your practice, you need to develop your loving kindness, compassion. And also you have to, in order to get this kind of wisdom, you need to have to develop your devotions, So this is very important for the practitioner to remove your obstacle, of course. So that is the kind of Mahayana tradition to, accumulating merit and accumulation of wisdom. So in order to devotion necessary to develop your wisdom and, compassion in order to get accumulated merit. So this kind of wisdom, merit and wisdom, these two can liberate you from the sufferings. And Nagarjuna have sayings, so this Nagarjuna has saying that whatever virtue I have accumulated, accumulation of the wisdom can be meaning that accumulation merit and wisdom and may accumulate it. Up to accumulate its wisdom and accumulation merit and may attain the two sacred body, you see. So the two sacred body meaning that his resolve achieve the two sacred body, meaning that one through the wisdom emptiness, one is through the material merit. So this case, the material merit is the kind of Rupakaya achieving, accumulation of wisdom is achieving Dharmakaya. So the two truth, the two body, dedicate to achieve the two body, the body of the Dharmakaya, body of the Rupakaya. So through the compassion and merit, you achieve the Rupakaya. And that will be benefit all sentient beings. And also through the wisdom, you achieve the total awakening yourself. That's through the wisdoms. So this is necessary because you achieve in the wisdom, only you can benefit other sentient beings. So these two kayas is very important, Rupa Kaya and Dharma Kaya, to resolve, but well, to basically cause also we need accumulation, merit, and wisdom, both. So that means merit means material, love and compassion, bodhicitta, a good deed, parameters, and so on. All these are kind of wisdom. I mean, accumulation of merit is called method. Then also wisdom, that means the wisdom meanings that is actual there is no sentient beings and know the merit what you have accumulated and know yourself even. Nothing. That's called wisdom. That's the total emptiness. So that is to liberate yourself, total awakenings, and then based on the total awakening, Dharma Kaya manifesting the benefit of all sentient being, the result from the your accumulation, merit, and compassions. So these two, but you resolve that. So that is the way. So therefore, on the path, we need to have the not be extreme accumulation, merit, and also wisdom. So that means we have to be not extreme, say only the emptiness. Not extreme to say it's only the material things, So when you are doing material things, you know that that essence of this is emptiness. So actually nothing really inherent exists in all. But again, you cannot deny, say, not to have anything to do with enlightenment. We need the accumulation, merit, and the method of compassions. But then still by the wisdom, emptiness of actual, that is Buddha taught into, middle turning wheel of Dharma in Bolshevik Freak, the Prajnaparamita Sutra, talking about the emptiness there. They very much kind of detail for emptiness. But also the Buddha talk about compassions in the Prajnaparamita Sutra and other sutras. They, same minor sutras talk about, such as the Lotus Sutras and other sutras have emphasized lots of compassion, and also history of the Buddha and Bodhisattvas engaging the compassion. The Buddha himself also, 3 numberless eons he engaged performing Bodhisattva conduct to achieve the total awakenings. And so therefore, that is necessary to not be extreme both, path, skillful mean and wisdom. So anyway, so in order to overcome your obstacle, your practice is that you should not give up. Give up means that you are not anymore doing it. It meaning you stop right there to path, not allowed to continually walk. And so in that case, you need to be whatever that you can able to sit, meditate, and do sit, meditate. But if not sitting, meditating, but do not change your motivations. Do not your motivation. Continually, constantly motivate positive and try to engage speech positive, bodily positive actions. But in order to engage body, speech positive, you have to mental positive, So that's very important. So these keep in your mind, and positive obstacle can be overcome. So I don't know, I say too much already. And time, Lama Chuen can tell me what is time now, too much?
It is 4:08.
Good more to do, or I should be constant taking now?
Either way, I think. I don't see any questions yet for Dave, but if you want to pause for a question answer or continue on, whichever you would like.
I can have a little bit more then. But this is what I'm saying is kind of talk about, so far I'm talking Maya and the path. Not giving the specific method, but I'm giving in generally how avoiding the obstacle by the method of the different things. So now we can talk about the Vajrayana path. So then a little bit, the Vajrayana path is the, of course, when most of our students engaging in Vajrayana practice, but doesn't mean we're not practicing Hinayana Mahayana practice. We do Hinayana practice because we always take refuge. So taking refuge is part of Hinayana Vinaya Sutra. So we are, taking vow to not to do negative, when taking vow to do positive things. We say, take refuge Buddha. I will not be following any other less than Buddha quality, perfection Buddha. I'm not following. So that's my commitment of taking refuge Buddha. And then take refuge Dharma. That means I'm vowed to not harm any sentient beings. And I take refuge Sangha. That means I'm never follow the negative friend. I'm following the only the path of the Buddha, which is true enlightenment path. And I'm following the Dharma, then I only the practicing harmless, more benefit, but I never contribute to do any harmful things, any beings. That is the Dharma vow, And the Sangha that we are taking, Sangha means that I would never engage in anyone killing, stealing, lying, or negative things, then non-virtuous thing who doing, or he try to influence me. I never follow and never be under him. I'm following the Sangha who follow the positive, who doing part of Sikhtavara methods and part of the virtuous action and teach about, more, harmless and not harming any beings, rather benefit other beings. Whoever teaching, whoever doing, whoever following those kind of path, that's my companions. And the Sangha is my companion who take me in the path of liberations. And Dharma is the path where I'm walking on. And Buddha is where my destination. I want to achieve that state of the Buddha. It's a perfect Buddha. Simply, he's no ego. So no ego meaning no negative there. It's all positive. Simply this much say. So that's my destination. So this I know, we should not forget Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha. And that's in generally Hinayana practice, the same things that Hina is avoiding negative, engaging positive, but only the motivation is benefit to liberate themselves or achieve the arhatships. That motivation make the refuge different because that is, but we take refuge also, but our refuge is kind of motivate to achieve the total full enlightenment. That's Mahayana path, And also we are engaging Mahayana teachings, electronic will of Dharma, which I'm just briefly talking simply you to understand, I hope. So then, Sangha is also follower of the Mahayana, not as an, Vinaya practitioner or low practitioner, so Theravadan practitioner. We're not following their Sangha, we follow the Sangha. So what is different is Mahayana, Hinayana is, Hinayana say, do not harm. They say that. And they follow their Buddha is completely total the arhatship, but not total enlightenment, awakening. The arhat is their kind of most last realizations. That's the Buddha. And Dharma is Vinaya Sutra, 21,000 Vinaya Sutra that they have the training. And the Sangha is Arhat, they have different study in the practice. What their motivation is more Theravada is more, they want to no harm to any sentient beings, for sure. They are one-pointed, single-pointed, virtuous, concentrated on virtuous actions, non-virtuous at all. But what different is this non-virtuous, them want themselves to get arhatship, but they will not say benefit sentient being because they cannot benefit, they say. Because they say they are in samsara, how they can benefit other beings. So that's a big difference of Mayana, you know. So Mayana, as Sangha will say, is that we are not harming any sentient being. Not only that, but we can benefit other sentient beings. But again, they do have compassion. The compassion they do is for more to protecting themselves, not to suffer. Protecting, not to hinder in their path. And their compassion, of course, very much compassion, but they are not compassion as limitless compassion. You know, non-referential compassion is they don't talk about that. So that is different. So then motivation is they are only the not harming sentient being, but they have operate to benefit the sentient beings. So Mahayana said, we are benefit sentient beings. You will not harm, no, do not harm. But not only that, but you will benefit sentient beings. So benefit sentient beings out of your compassions. Then compassion will talk about basically motivation of the Mahayana motivation is the motivated. The Mahayana motivation is such as like we call it like king, first motivation like king, which we are pretty much that kind of motivation, we're motivated. And then a high level bodhisattva will have the like captain who will driving the ship, boat. And that is the second level motivations. And third level motivation we call shepherd, you know, someone who watch the sheep. So shepherd, like, watching sheep. So that is high level motivation. Among the bodhisattva, but that's the very high level bodhisattva. So that is the three-level bodhisattva in Mahayana. The first level is like king, like bodhisattvas. So example giving king like bodhisattvas, the king, before he benefits sentient being, he have to on throne to be his king. When he's on throne, then he have the power to protect his kingdom, his subject, not allowed to anyone harm. And then, he can able to have the all power to protect and benefit all these, his subject. So that until he get the king, he cannot benefit. So king, before he get king, he have to be lots of effort to get the king. Why he want to get the king? He want to help the subject benefit and protect, give refuge to all the his subject. So that is the kind of king's aim before he become king. But he have to authorize by the on-throne him. So this is what we are now. I say we have this says Dola Penja Sanjay Dubarshu is the last sentence of their short refuge in Bodhicitta. It's the last sentence of Dola Penja Sanjay Dubarshu. So which means I may achieve the full enlightenment for the benefit of all sentient beings. So there you can see that we are practicing generosity and etc. all the virtuous things. But I dedicate this virtue to me to attain enlightenment. Purpose for me, enlightenment, for benefit all sentient beings. When I get enlightenment, I have full power, ability, omniscience compassions, all these I have, then I can able to engage the bodhisattva conduct, save sentient being from the suffering, guide sentient being from the liberation. So this is the motivation we do, is like king-like motivation, you know. So this is the what pretty much our level practice and can motivate like that. This is the kind of law of the motivations, but it's still motivation, positive, and we want to achieve enlightenment. So otherwise, the Mahayana, Hinayana level is the, I want to achieve the benefit of myself to get enlightenment. But we have said, I want to achieve the enlightenment for benefit of the sentient beings. So there's two different things here, you see. So that low bodhisattva attitude is already completely far behind from the Theravada motivations, you see. So then, second level bodhisattva is like shepherd, not like shepherd, the called captain, the boat, sailor, you call ship, no, captain, I think. So that, and it's kind of motivation again. Whoever in the boat, they want to go other shore. Whenever they get inside the boat, and then he's crossing ocean, but the captain is there who's sailing. But captain has responsible to save all the people inside the boat. Captain make mistakes, sink the boat, everybody killed there. But in order to save all these people, captain have responsible, when he get other shore, all of them getting same time, not leave behind anyone. So that's the kind of bodhisattva motivated is when I get enlightenment, I'll be all sentient being I attain enlightenment the same time when I get enlightenment. So that means that when I get enlightenment, I'm to bring everybody enlightenment. So that is kind of part behind motivation, because that, you know, how long you know, this is too much. You sentient being number, sentient being suffering, and look at all this as in the make you are not patient enough. And so that, but bodhisattva do have such deep, profound motivations. And so the practice and the practice, when achieving enlightenment through this my practice, I bring everything without exception to get enlightenment. So that is the kind of, one is the later I benefit, one is the same time I'm benefiting. But the last one is motivation, is kind of saying, like shepherd, you know, shepherd in example, you know, no matter where, the shepherd is the same, India, in Tibet, but this was kind of Tibet, an example, like, so, you know, sheep, daytime shepherds take the sheep to wherever grass, water, so they can eat, enjoy. But shepherd is responsible to make sure none of the animal can harm the sheep. He protect them and make safe them, and make sure wherever water they can drink, where they can grass, the grassing. So that's kind of, shepherd is kind of important, how motivate that, you know. But the later one, he go to home, nighttime, he will take all the sheep, put in front of him. He will be last. He will not make any single sheep to behind. Every beings will be in front of him, all the sheep. So one place to camping, then he will be first place to make sure all the sheep is safe. Nighttime, not animal can harm them. And make sure everything place very safe, precisely protected. Then last, he will camping himself where he can sleep, he can rest. But before he bring the sheep, every single sheep is in front of him, not behind him. So when you can place to place, when he camping that time, he first save this animal all night, will not be harmed by no one. Then last he want to see he's camping himself while sleeping and eating, you know. So this is kind of idea. The Bodhisattva is kind of motivated to all sentient beings get enlightenment. I am the last one be enlightenment. Until then, I have been no enlightenment. I'll be engaged for benefit sentient being. So that's the Bodhisattva's kind of motivation, how go deep, profound. So this is the kind of motivation which we talked in the beginning. So the motivation can go that far and they deep. So this, you know, Maya and Bodhisattva engage at the different level like that, you see. And so this is the kind of Mayan tradition, but then Vajrayana tradition practices more, you know, busy with practicing. As again, Mayan Vajrayana practice is called Port Tantra. We knew it's called Port Tantra. Kriya, Upaya Yoga, Maya Yoga is Port Tantra. So this different Tantra is also called outer Tantra, inner Tantra, secret Tantra, something like that too. So this also the different than Mahayana, but Tantra itself has different level, also different way to practice. But of course, Mahayana practice training very well with compassion and view of emptiness. You have to have thoroughly, you have to get used to be accustomed on that. Then Vajrayana practice became Kriya Tantra, then Upa Tantra, then Yoga Tantra, Maya Yoga Tantra. So this four Tantras, which is in a new school called four Tantra, but so all school called the 9 Yoga, 9 Yana they call, you know. It's outer Tantra, inner Tantra, so secret Tantra. And then they have Father Tantra, Mother Tantra, non-dual Tantra. So that is the kind of new school called in Father Tantra, Mother Tantra, non-dual Tantras. Father Tantra is like Maya, Mahamaya, Guya Samaja, Red Chain Rezi, those are kind of the Father Tantra. The Mother Tantra is such as like Chakra Samvaras and Hebajra, and those are the kind of Mother Tantra they call. But this Tantra has also different practice. Father Tantra is more practice a method more, but doesn't mean doesn't practice wisdom, but they do practice wisdom, but also Father Tantra practice more method. And Mother Tantra is more practice that kind of who practice engaging. The Mother Tantra is more wisdom part, side of wisdom that practicing. So that's two different, higher than high Yoga Tantra. Father and Mother Tantra is higher. So Mother and Father Tantra is similar, but Mother Tantra is more profound, more deeper. And then when called non-dual Tantra, the such Tantra is like Chakrasam, Kala Chakra Tantra, those are non-dual Tantra. So this is the high Tantra in the Buddha have presented teaching in the world when he's 2,600 years ago. This is the teaching, high teaching he gave the Kala Chakra Tantra. It's called non-dual Tantra. So this Tantra is a higher Tantra, Buddha gave that. So this have all, and have to have great bodhicitta to generated, custom-made, very expert. So that means bodhicitta to generate your compassion, loving kindness. There is the kind of 7 level for cause and effect for the generating the bodhicitta. The bodhicitta become stable, profound, and so very precise. You are master of that practice. Then you would create Tantra, you know, then Upa Tantra. Then they have different level practice also. So this way, those Tantra go this way. So these have the method again. So especially the bhajan and the practice. And we have the refuge also, the Lama, Yidam, and protectors. So general, Mahayana, Hinayana called 3 jewel. then Vajrayana called three root. So that meaning addition to three jewel, they Vajrayana called three root, Lama, Idam, protectors. So Lama is the, we call a blessing root. So why the Lama is a blessing root, but Vajrayana specifically, very important to have the three things. We call Minjegi Wong, Traljegi Tik, Yaptengi Lung. So these three stages is very important in the Vajrayanas. So we call Minjegi Wong means liberating disciple mind, but not ripening disciple mind by the empowering disciple. And then Traljegi Tik means that in order to liberate disciple, need to commentary on the empowerment what you're giving. So the commentary, T meaning that comment, you have to comment to sadhana practice. So you have to introduce the deities and how to practice. That is called Minjeki or Traljeki T. So the liberating disciple mind by the commentary. Gyabdengi Lung meaning that supporting both liberating and ripening, and we need to have called scripture authorizations. So scripture authorization means that we call Lung. Lung means it's something reading the scripture of what you have, empowering what you have, explaining, then you have to reading them. So these three are the lineage master transformed to disciple. And then that is the very important for Vajrayana. So this, who was the source of this is our own teacher. So he's the source of these blessings of three root. Because when I am ordinary people, ordinary being, I not see Buddha, I not see deities. But then I can see my teacher as a human being. And he can talk in a layman language. So therefore, I respect myself. My teacher is the Buddha of the three times. Past, present, futures. One suffering, pain, and confused. Three times Buddha do not come. Because they are there. But I'm not see because my ignorance, I cannot see them. So therefore, I have no communicating with them, seeing them, due to my ignorance, my obscurations. But especially my teacher, who came as human beings. He came to human being. He may not need to come human being, but he came for me to save from the suffering and the pain. He take as human both and being as human being out of his compassion to serving me, saving me from this suffering. So he is a very, very kind and compassionate person. Then he was the kind of use a human language to make sure what I understanding. He teach me that way, then I became understanding this much now. So no Buddha came to that time. No Bodhisattva come to me. The teacher who teach me, that was the one who come. So for me, he's the past Buddha. He's the future Buddha. He's present Buddha. No, I have any Buddha. When I need, he is the one who gave me, protect from the suffering and the pain. So therefore, I respect him as 2-3 time Buddha. That's why Vajrayana says, you believing, you receive empowerment and teaching of Vajrayana, you believing him as Buddha of 3 times. Even that time I see Buddha will come 3 times, Buddha come, they will not say more or less. Take care of me by what he says. So therefore, he is more authentic, his word, saving me from the sufferings. So that's why I consider my teacher as kind of true Buddha of the 3 times. And also this lineage from Buddha to present, one Lama teach to the one disciple, and his teacher, his disciple teach. Up until this present time, he who is received this teaching from his own guru, and he have to contain this blessing of the poor from Buddha to present time. So therefore, that all the blessing of all the lineage from Buddha to up until now, all the blessing is the he who has contained, he who has it. So therefore, he is the Chinlap Gitsawa, meaning the root of the blessings is teacher. The Lama, they call so that guru. Guru means the teacher. So that is the blessing root. Source of the blessing is my guru, because he who has to hold these blessings. Then he transmitted accordingly what he had, what he practiced, passed through initiations, passed through explanations, passed through scripture transmissions, all these things. Then I'm qualified to practice of this wonderful Vajrayana. But the difference is, my theory numberless I want you to engage bodhisattva conduct to liberate you from sufferings. The Vajrayana, if someone who can able to keep samaya to not broke, 16 lifetime you will have enlightenment. And you have more serious than 7 lifetime, more serious 3 lifetime. The more serious maybe your pardo, you can liberate it. Then really, really serious, like Milarepa, this body you can get enlightenment. The Vajrayana is kind of more speedy, because the method is very strong and powerful. According to the powerful method, that much the obstacle can be, but Vajrayana have the power. A powerful method can bring the very strong obstacle, but we do have the Buddha also manifested Dharma protector, such like the wisdom Mahakala, Mahakali, male and female protector. These are the kind of commit. First place is manifested from Buddha, wisdom. And second, they are committed from Buddha to protect, preserve the teaching of the Vajrayana, not defile, not hand it to somebody who doesn't have the samaya who have samaya broke on perfect vessel. I cannot misuse it or misuse it. So this is the protector. He's preserving this teaching to not hand it to mistakenly. Then he will protect, not allow that. And also he has committed to whoever seriously practice Dharma, that he who can protect their obstacle or hindrance whenever that obstacle comes. And that they committed themselves. So that is the Vajrayana practice. The protector is very important. So two practitioners, protector is always there, they say. Never absent. But if we are pretending to practice, then I don't think so. Protector will be interested. Because they are omniscient, whether they are your prayer or a devotion or not, they're omniscient forever there. They know exactly what's going on there. So therefore, the protector is the kind of, we call the activity roads. So an active, in generally, anything obstacle may account for 2 practitioners, they will be protected, not allowed the obstacle or hindrance. And anyone misuse the text or misuse the lineage, there will be trouble. Also, the protector will be not allow them to do it. So that is a protector, so-called kind of activity road is a protector, meaning that protector, that is the protector, that is a manifestation of Buddha himself. So that's the reason every lineage have each protector there. So those protectors have the commitment to protect that through the Vajradhara in Buddha, Lord Buddha Shakyamuni. So they have the completely commitment, like not like us. We commit today, tomorrow forget the commitment. And they are kind of seriously committed, seriously, day and night. They are inseparable with the commitment they take. So that is the kind of protector. So that is the second, I think last one, but I have to say, then never say kind of accomplishment road is the kind of idam. That's the second. Then actually, up to the blessing, accomplishment means that when actually you achieve the realizations, you accomplish or you really achieve the realization through the idam deities. Deities practice can you liberate it. So the Lama give the empowerment, explanations how to practice, and give authorization, scripture authorization. But then what actually we realize, the Wood Lama introduced me the deities, but I'm practice the deities. Deities the one who achieve the realization of total enlightenment, awakenings. So called, they call accomplishment road is the deities. So deities is a kind of, we call idam. Idam is the kind of, not really saying the deities actually. Idam means it's a way to say is the yi tam, meaning yi meaning the mind, tam meaning that deities you keep in your mind as like tightening, like rope tightening this one and two people in one. So you deities, when you receive the empowerment, then that you become form of the deities and Guru empower you. So you have completely, totally to engage the practice. So then you keep in the mind, never separate from the deities. But you think that your whole part of your body is the mandala, and all inside is, eight on five aggregate, eight consciousness, and so on. All these are the five Buddha and five Bodhisattva, male and female. And also there is different kind of wrathful and peaceful. And all these kind of empowered by the lamas, that you are in a body as the mandala, you are inside is the deities yourself. So that means you are, how much you familiarize the deities practice, how much mantra your recitation has been done, and that much you can deepening your realization experience. So that through this will be, you accomplish actual final realization. So that's called blessing root. So then this called Tsawa Sum, meaning three root. Blessing root is the Lama lineage, called lineage Lama, and the root Lama they call also too. So we don't have to say right now root Lama. Root Lama is another business. So this a lineage Lama, and then the accomplishment root is the kind of idam deities. So what you engage in the practice to get the realizations. So that powerful Vajrayana practice that you engaging creation stage and completing stage. So this powerful method can bring you obstacle. Everyone you have negative karma you accumulated, but this powerful blessing can be stored up. So that case that maybe there's some obstacle can be counting there. So then obstacle subside by the protector. That protector is necessarily, because you have to practice that, it has again empowerment, and then you have to practice that seriously, and then protection be always there to protect you from the obstacle or hindrance. So that is the reason blessing road, accomplishment road, and activity road, and that's three road. So this they kind of Vajrayana practice line of like that. Of course, that creation stage, completing stage, lots of things that they talk about. Some of them I cannot publicly talk because it's Samaya. And some of them can be also very little complicated, but I cannot have, if start, it will not finish. So where is our time now?
We're at 4:45, so we definitely have time for some questions that Dave has waiting there for him.
All right, so maybe the start question then.
All right, thank you, Rinpoche. So the first question we have is from Mikolaj, and he asks, lots of people engage in practice to remove obstacles. But at the same time, Rinpoche says that practice triggers some surfacing of obstacles. Isn't it a contradiction that we want to purify any small suffering rather than enjoy karma being purified? How does one balance the tendency to not experience difficulties with the need for karma to purify itself?
So that his question, I have to understand, but he say, purifying karma, he want the temporary karma to purify, not like karma deepening for past life, main life. That's his question. If you repeat again once more,
Sure. I think one of the main pieces of it is, how do we balance the tendency to want to avoid difficulties with the fact that when we practice, obstacles will come up and we will experience difficulties. So how do we? So that's one piece of it. Yeah.
Maybe I can answer that one first. Okay.
Yes.
Yes, the Maya, you can practice this, we call it, Dajin Yampa, Dajin Jiwa, Dale Genchipa. So there's kind of Maya practice they call Dajin Yampa, meaning that equalize myself and others same. Then obstacle come from other, right? Always something. So that here, because we have to equalize the person who will make obstructing me. And because I want to happy, and that person want to happy. I want to not suffer. He want to not to suffer. So therefore, he and me is the same, or she or me and same. So therefore, that whatever obstacle I'm getting from, so I will be take as this as a method to purify all the impurity of the myself and other beings same time. So I will be use this difficulty I get from other become method to purification, method to purify. Not purify myself, but purify the person who can obstructing me, and also purifying all sentient beings. Maybe no being have to be challenging this kind of problem and this kind of difficulty. May this, what I experience, this will be purifying myself and all sentient beings, and including person who are harmed, who caused me to this obstacle. So this is kind of evenings. So other, same things that will be may help, I think. And other ways that you can make the more, care other sentient being than myself. So in that case, sentient beings are more number. I'm one single beings. So rather, I single being can suffer, and more being cannot suffer. So because I'm not important than numberless beings. And this numberless being is also my mother, and who has been so much great, happiness and freedom for me gain from all the sentient being had contributed. So this is the opportunity to me to repay to my motherly being all sentient beings. So rather, I'm taking care of my mother of the numberless being than taking care of some single myself alone. So that makes kind of, you can see the other being is more, important. So this kind of things may be useful to avoid the takings, say I have suffering pain, how can I remove this pain? If I understand his question, this may be what he thinks. That what you think?
I think that probably hits at it, but we'll just have Mikolaj, if he has another point that he wants to have clarified, please type that into the chat.
Okay.
And while we're waiting for that, I'll continue on with some of the other questions. So the next question is from James, and he asks if there are a few words about the visualization of Dorje and Drilbu of Vajrasattva that you can add for the sake of our devotions, how they clear the obstacles.
You mean that the Vajrasattva had the Vajra and the bell,
yeah,
and this Vajra and bell can how purify us, right?
Mm-hmm.
I see. So, well, that case. Again, with Vajra and the bell, and we talk about, before we can say skillful means, method, and wisdom, we talk about in the Mayana. Today, talk sometime, we talk about that. So this means the method is the Vajra, and wisdom is the bell. So that he holding Vajra and bell, that means who he master of this method and wisdom, which meaning he's completely overcome. And I mean, this he method and the wisdom is completely master of that. He's kind of achieved that. He's accomplished. He's a nature of that. So therefore, bell and Vajra is appeared there to that method and wisdom, what he achieved, this will be the remedy for purification of the individual who practicing. So that's where you can see is the true nature of his perfect wisdom quality manifesting form of bell and Vajra.
Thank you.
Okay.
So next we have two concise questions from Yeshe. And first he asked, Dear Rinpoche, does arhatship mean obtaining the first level of bodhisattvahood or first level bodhisattva?
No, I think the bodhisattva, arhat is never get bodhisattva. Arhat is a lower than first level bodhisattva. The arhat is the country we call fear destroyer, because that meaning they are completely subside ego, subside affliction, emotions. So that is their aim, that's achieved there. So they are right there in a deep samadhi, and they are deep remain in a deep samadhi, and because of the believing they are achieved something, some kind of awakening, yet they are not. So Buddha taught that method also. Why he taught that? It's sentient being, someone who have too difficult to think about all this bodhisattva, but get full enlightenment, and they may not interest even to follow the path, and also too much they kind of become discouraging. Right? So for these people, Buddha taught this path to may rest there, and rest there, where they have the suffer for a long time in suffering in different realm. So Buddha bring them to liberate from that place to there, to be relaxed, rest there. So that's called Nyangema, the tingal souls. So he said, this not in the total nirvana, enlightenment, but this let them to rest there. So that's what Buddha says. So you can see the jewel ornament liberation will tell you, Buddha, they deep samadhi live there without any kind of destruction of anything. So then certain point, the Buddha appeared there to them, and the Buddha sending from his heart awakening them from the samadhi. Then Buddha teaching on the minor teachings path, asked them to go back to take bodhisattva vow, engage three numberless on to engage bodhisattva conduct to get enlightenment. So that time they are rest enough, then you wake up from refresh there, so they will be able to take it to bodhisattva concept, an idea or path. So that was the reason Buddha keep them there. But this is not the bodhisattva level. But again, this Buddha himself taught that, because the Buddha way to make them to rest there. Then that way to see that quicker, and that I can do it. So they put themselves effort to get that level. So away from samsara, but not get bodhisattva level. Okay?
Okay, thank you. His next question, or Yeshe's next question, Dear Rinpoche, what type of tantra are Machiks, Lujin, and Changpa for deities?
What linked between these two, Changpa for deities and Machik?
What type of tantra are they?
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
I think that the for tantra is the kind of it is a further tantra, mortar tantra, and that is high tantra. There's four deities. Yes, there's high tantra, and magic Jew practice is quite high. Yes, that is can be, depending practitioner. Maji himself is beyond non-dual tantra. When she taught, and then according to her wisdom, but an individual not ready, they can be Kriya Tantra, Upa Tantra, Maya Yoga Tantra, Maya Yoga Tantra, or Mother Tantra, Father Tantra. That is depending the practitioner level, not the Machik's concept or what he taught. But she taught this. She again achieved enlightenment through the Prajnaparamita. So she was already in connection of the Prajnaparamita. She was, in India, she was a kind of Mahapandit great scholar who truly accomplished yogi, who lived the mountain. So that is great master emanated to Tibet as a Machik. So Machik's past life, he was the male. And then she took this specifically female incarnation there in Tibet. And then she received teaching from different teachers. So one time some of the wealthy family request her to, and her teacher to send someone who can read very speedily Prajnaparamita, sent to their family. They need to be recite them, that Prajnaparamita Sutra, which is a 12 volume. And then teachers told to that her to go to recite that Prajnaparamita Sutra, because teachers say she's reading very speedily. So therefore, non-people can do this practice by reading. So she can do it. So she, our teacher sent it. So she was reciting that Prajnaparamita 3 times a day. That means a very speedy reader can do it, because there's a 12, 13 volume there, but each volume have 500 pages, big page too. So that's have to be quite very, nowadays, no one can read that fast. But she's speeded reading a 3 times a day. So she memorized all the parameters of the 3 volumes. And then she was absorbing the meaning of that Prajnaparamita. Then she realized Prajnaparamita, she become inseparable with the Prajnaparamitas. So she was begin to her own circle of the teaching, Prajnaparamitas. She was kind of titling Pungpa Senjurma. Pungpa Senjurma means that give the body as food for the ghost. So many people try to protect the body from the ghosts. Ghosts will eat, harm, and torture. So everybody worry about it. But she said, this Pungpa means the body, one's own body, give to ghosts as their food. So that is the core circle of the teaching. She this kind of treasure, a mind treasure, she have invented that teaching in Tibet. So that case, that is the whole circle of teaching is that different than any school, that's called Shijejuba, meaning the lineage of this pacified emotions, so ego. So this is the, she invented teachings. So her teaching is quite high level, which is a combination of the Prajnaparamita Sutra Mahayana and High Vajrayana combination practices. And so that is therefore, when you realize the same method, maybe 5 tantric deities and magic, the method is different. And when you realize the same things, every teaching is the same. So that's where you should look at it.
Thank you. We have a question that was emailed in from Deborah Janke, and she says, Dear Rinpoche, in your book, Bardo Teachings, The Way of Death and Rebirth, you spoke of deliberate ignorance. Would you please describe what deliberate ignorance is? Thank you.
Deliberate ignorance, I have to look at, but I wrote that book, so I'm sure. But this, that means that, but we consciously, we avoiding the truth. So then deliberately the ignorant, avoid the truth, So that's what it means by that look like. So deliberate ignorant, can you command that to me? Because I even not really know where it's that should be there. But if in the other case, I have to read the book, then I'll figure out. So what is the deliberate ignorance? What do you think? Can you explaining me the English?
Well, I think my best guess would be that it is when you choose to not, to reside in ignorance, when you willfully, having been presented the truth of something, don't like it and decide to reside in that space of unknowing or delusion, maybe.
So you mean you deliberately ignorant for deliberate ignorant. Deliberate meaning is something knowingly you will let go of that, be ignorant, right? That's
yes. Correct.
I see. So that case, when you have the ignorance is very thick, ignorance kind of leading lots of confusion, and then you look actual essence of the ignorance. The ignorance is come from some kind of temporarily, it is kind of lubricatima, meaning kind of temporary stain, temporary obscurations, ignorance is. And then you look the essence of the ignorance is the true nature of the clear light. So that case that the clear light, and then you invoke the ignorance to viewing the clear light. That must be. You getting what I'm trying saying?
I am, but Craig and Deborah have asked if they could be unmuted to ask their question, so I'm going to do that.
So I hope this will be, maybe we can talk now separately, bring the book and I can look at. So then I can see what point I'm saying that things. So right now I can say that much. Yes, go ahead.
Thank you, Rinpoche. It was your description of the Chutney Bardo, where the consciousness is on the second day, I believe, Vairocana appears to the person with, brilliant, the person is enveloped in brilliant white light. But due to, and the quote is, deliberate ignorance and conflicting emotions, they run away. They don't rest in that white light, thinking that the Vairocana has come to help them. Instead, they run away. And the reason was twofold. One was deliberate ignorance, and the other was conflicting emotions. So that was why I was interested in your commentary on deliberate ignorance. Thank you.
I think it's very thankful you're bring that question, and that's kind of more deeper than I think also, because maybe we can look at book, and I think of that more question too. I have to carefully answer you this. This look like there's the two things, the deliberate ignorance and confusions, but there is the same essence actually. And then also the deities involved. So I think that question is, I have to carefully think about it instead of just saying to you this. Keep that question, I think you bring before too. Keep that one. Someday I'll talk to you, look at it, the commentary also, okay?
Yes, thank you very much.
Thank you very much also. This is very great. I like to make the, I like to be more think about that, okay? Thank you.
Thank you, Rinpoche. Those are all the questions we have for the moment.
Okay, so I think time for also maybe Lama Chewing. What is time now?
It's after 5:06, so yes.
So, okay, so maybe we can dedication merit. You can start that dedication.
Zonam di tamje sekpa ni tonne nepe dranam pam jene kege nachi bala tukpa yi sipe sole drowa shok Jampao Pawo Jeta Kebada Kunto Sampo Teyan Tejin Te Deda Kungi Jesu Tatlo Shin Gewa Dida Tamshe Ratu Mo Gewa Ti Kowo Kun Zonam Yeshe Sok Te Zonam Yeshe Lejung We Dampa Kuni Topa Shok Zangye Kusum Mebe Jinlap Dang Chuni Migyo Tempe Jinlap Dang Gedum Meche Dumpe Jinlap Ki Jetara Ngowa Monlam Tuba Shok.
Thank you, Lama. Thank you, everyone. I really enjoyed your presence there. Even I don't see you. Your energy bring me very excited. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Rinpoche.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Rinpoche.
Okay. Thank you.